What's going on, Facebook land? How's everybody doing?
What up,
As
peeps?
promised, we are on time today. Isn't that wonderful? All right, guys, we're just gonna go ahead and get this shared out to a couple different groups, so everyone can start joining us. That one. So, all right, guys.
Cool, man. Excited to get this started. Sure.
Awesome. What's up, everybody? I see you guys coming on. What's up, Scotty? Scotty said it's about to be lit. Man, Scotty, you already know, bro. I only bring the fire every time. And we got a special treat for you guys today with Trevor. Man, he is an absolutely amazing individual. And I can't wait to get this party started. So who we got coming on? We got John, we got Talia, we got Ari, we got Keith. What's up, everybody? Hey, as you come on, do some hearts, some likes, some thumbs up. You know, show us that you're out there, that you're alive, that you're ready to get this thing started with this. Let's go. We got John, Tracy, we got Kyle, Jessica. Man, we got some amazing people coming on today so far. Look at that, man. It is lighting up like a Christmas tree, Trevor. This is awesome. What? Yeah, do some hearts, some likes, some thumbs up, do all that good stuff. Shows that you're alive, shows that you're out there. Hey, listen, take 2 seconds and share this, on your timelines, guys. You know, we want to get people that's, serious about learning about ecom, because I'm sure if you're wanting to learn about ecom and, how to elevate your game, we'd love to, get other people involved so they could, be able to elevate their game too as well. So hit the share button, share this on your timeline, get engaged with the hearts and likes and thumbs up and all that good stuff so we can get this party started. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Trevor. I'm not going to steal his thunder because, man, he's got some amazing stuff he can tell you about his background, probably tons of other things that I'm not even knowing that he's doing. But, me and Trevor, we connected a little over a year ago and, kind of like I would say mid-cycle of the beginning of his like ecom journey. He was just getting started. I think he was up for a couple months like with his business and everything, making some progress. And we connected. And, shortly after that, he literally like took off like a rocket ship. If you guys have seen the flyer, he decided to, really like treat this business like a freaking the machine that it is. Like, he's not playing around with ecom. He's like, you know what? I can make some money with this ecom thing and I know it's possible. So I'm just going to do what it needs to happen to make it happen. So, I'm going to let Trevor kind of tell you a little bit about, his success and what he's been able to do in his background and let him kind of take it over. So go ahead, Trevor, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
For sure. Thanks for the quick intro, Ernest. And I joined Dropship Lifestyle back in mid 2016. I was pretty much going broke because I had sold my business, my first dropshipping business the previous year. We took a whole year off and we traveled and stuff like that. And then I sat back down in Los Angeles with my wife and we tried to build another internet business. We just realized that we didn't really know what we were doing. The first business we built with all organic traffic, with content marketing, with social media marketing, with email marketing. So we'd gotten really good at that. But what I realized is that the times have changed. Google's changed and the algorithms have changed. So it's really hard to get ranked in the search engines right away now. So I realized I needed to take a course on conversion rate optimization and using paid traffic to drive traffic to the site. So found that course, which was really cool. And then I found you, Ernest, through their coaching program, which was really neat because I realized taking the course that kind of right near the end, they sort of drop you off and then you don't really know a whole lot to do after that. So I said the best thing to do is just book a coaching call. So I looked at all the coaches and your profile in particular stuck out to me because you're just all about optimizing for conversions. And I was thinking like, if I drive tons of traffic to my site and I have social media platforms and all this cool free traffic, so what if all this traffic is going to my site? What's the big deal? If I don't optimize for conversions and have a good sales funnel to get that traffic to convert, it's not going to convert. So that was my main goal. So I hit you up and I booked a couple calls with you and it was really cool. We started talking and man, like I remember talking with you for a while and you were just rambling off. You were just going. Cause I was like, Ernest, like, honestly, I just want to get started with this. Like, could you just give me like whatever you think is the best thing? And you just went for like 20, 30 minutes. You just talked straight and I could barely keep up with you with the notes and it was just insane. So I wrote everything down and then I just started implementing. And I was out here in Chiang Mai at the time and just, it's so cheap to live out here that all I would do is just sit in the coffee shop all day long and just work and just build the site out and build the email marketing funnels and build the sequences and optimize that site and put all the different trust signals in there and the social proof signals and stuff like that. And it really worked well. So, we actually have had this site now for a little while. We did really well last year. We hit, 6 figures. We got on with Amazon and eBay as well, and we started doing a lot more. And now this year we've hit 500,000 for the year, and it's not even Black Friday yet, so it's going to be insane. And we had a lot of new competitors step into the game because, it's a crazy world, drop shipping, and you can kind of jump in and start a site and get suppliers and stuff like that, and it's not too difficult to get in there. But through it all, we really persevered because we stuck with it, and we really worked our butts off to get our back-end sales funnel in there. So it's all about the email marketing. It's all about the content, bringing people back into your website and understanding where they are in the buying cycle and understanding, how to best serve them for that particular point in the buying cycle. So understanding all that and reading a lot more books and watching a lot more videos and stuff like that really got us in the right state of mind. And we did awesome over the summer. And now we're kind of chilling in Chiang Mai again. And I'm really working on building my podcast and building the course and stuff like that, and helping people achieve success as well while we build out new stores. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, man, that's awesome. And I don't know how much you guys have gone through like Trevor's timeline or anything like that, but like him and his wife have been like bouncing from like country to country like every few weeks, right? He's really, if you're the person that says, hey, like I want to travel and I want to visit a lot of different places like across the world, across the US, check out Trevor's timeline, check out Ecom Paradise, which is his private Facebook group, because he's got, they got that stuff on lock. And I don't know if you guys caught that or not too. He said it so like passively, like, oh, they got one of their businesses doing $500,000, right? So this guy knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing. I didn't realize that you had another business that you guys had sold, in the process of starting this one. So that's pretty cool, man. That's awesome that you guys, got that experience too. So, talk to us about like, email marketing, right? So there's a lot of people that are in e-com. So I went to a live event in Texas, right? You're talking about some very, very elite people like at this event called Zero to Scale. And, they did a survey on the room where they said, how many people are, leveraging and utilizing email marketing, and literally less than 10% of the room had their hands raised. And it's like that consistently, with, e-com in general. So, talk to us about, what do you think are some of like the best strategies to kind of get started with email marketing, like, as a newbie, and then maybe, a couple, two or three other strategies that someone could use, like that's at an advanced level that's probably not implementing email marketing right now.
Okay, so yeah, lately what I've been doing a lot is actually looking at other e-com sites that are running ads and trying to break down what they're doing. And it's kind of fun. So if you guys, think about the best way you can learn anything in life, and think about learning the theory first. But then once you've learned the theory, you can go out there and actually start breaking down what other people are doing that are successful. And the one thing that was really cool about Anton's course is that he actually taught to look at Google product listing ads. So these are stores that have the money to spend money to get leads, right? And that was a really big breakthrough moment for me. I didn't really understand that at first, because before I was just doing all my research in the organics and who was ranking first in SEO. And that's important, but to understand what stores are successful, in other words, they're making money, they're converting purchases, and so they can spend more money to get more leads. So look at ads and see what people are doing and what the ad copy is and what the picture or the video is, and then click through on that ad and go to their website, especially for an e-commerce offer. And if you want to like look at low dollar offers, they always pop up in your Facebook or Instagram feeds. And if you're thinking high ticket offers, just think about a high ticket product and type that keyword into Google, and more likely than not, there's going to be some product listing ads that show up at the top of the results with the pictures and stuff. But once you get to that website, the key is to browse around for a minute. Don't just leave right away, but kind of chill and go slowly, and then move your mouse up to the top of the browser. And usually what happens is there's a pop-up that comes up, and it's an email pop-up, and those are called exit intent pop-ups. You can set those up with different apps. I use Sumo. Other people use Privy. You can do a bunch of different apps for that kind of stuff, but you need some sort of an exit intent pop-up for your e-commerce site. So that's the very first step to setting all of this stuff up. So then you need some kind of content to put into the exit intent pop-up. right? You need some sort of a discount code. So it's usually like a 5% off or something like that, or maybe even just offering like a free gift or free shipping, but usually it's a discount code. And then, having a little bit of copy there that is a little more urgent, a call to action, like, hey, take advantage of this now, it's a limited time offer, and then have them opt in for an email. One of the most popular pop-ups I've seen lately are the little spinning wheel of fortune ones, where you get to enter your email and then it spins the wheel, and oh my gosh, I just got 5% off. Those are pretty popular, and they're kind of fun and engaging actually. If you sit there and watch it for a second, it's like playing a little game. And yeah, so they get people to opt in, which is important because that's your first email sequence. So you've now paid for your product to be put in front of somebody in a platform where somebody else owns the traffic, right? So this is called traffic you control because you're paying for it to come to your website. Now, once you get that person to opt in, you've converted them into a lead. So now it's traffic you own. So now you can send that traffic, that person, that lead, an email, and that email is perfectly free to send them, which is really cool. But you have to be careful. You have to send them valuable content. You have to talk to them like they're your friend. You have to talk to them like you want to hang out with them and convince them to do something really fun, right? You want to make it engaging and fun with them. So there's a lot of good email marketing tactics that promote just using text only, but I kind of like using images in my messages because I think they are way more emotionally triggering. They trigger your emotions more and trigger you to kind of smile and laugh a little bit. So using some sort of a funny picture or a GIF in your email can really get people's attention more and get them to like you and get them to convert and click through to whatever offer you're trying to get them to click through an offer for. So I use that a lot. And then also asking them to reply back to your email is really important. Like if it's your first welcome email, it's, hey, how's it going? I really want to solve your problems. Please reply back to this email and let me know what's the number one problem you're having with X, which is your niche, And that's a really great way to get engagement, which is what you want. Or you can create some sort of a survey using Google Forms, which is free, or you can create it on a software program, but usually Google Forms is what people use. I think SurveyMonkey is one of the software programs you can use, but you can create a survey and say, hey, what's your biggest problem with X niche? And it's, hey, I want to learn about this, this, or this. And those are all your subcategories in your e-commerce site. So that's another great way to get people to engage. But the key is you want people to start engaging with your content, liking you, clicking through to your links right away, because it's every single message you send to that person is super important. It's paramount.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta grab my pen, man. You are going off right now. This is crazy. This is some good stuff, man. I hope you guys are keeping up with everything that Trevor's talking about. This is awesome. I'm picking up some things to work on for my email game too. So, man, Trevor, you just went through a lot of stuff really fast, and I don't think they got it. All right. So you said one of the first things that you do, you say, okay, like, let me, like, I want to start an email campaign. Let me go take a look at some people that are actually actively advertising, right? Because if you got money to spend on advertising, you're probably making money. Okay. So the first thing is like taking a look at your competition, right? And one of the places that you like to go is to the PLA section on Google, because those are people that actually get it, right? They understand that's where you want to advertise if you got physical products, right? So you said
it depends on what you're selling, but yeah, that's one of the places.
Depends on what you sell. So yeah, so going to PLAs, maybe checking out some of the text ads, maybe going through, you mentioned like some of the traditional SERP, like with the organic results, and possibly even checking out some of the Facebook ads in your niche if you're selling lower ticket items too, right?
Now, here's the thing about that. Okay, so high ticket dropshipping and low ticket dropshipping are very different, but they do have similarities. And the similarities are in the sales triggers they use to convert. So if you are scrolling through your feed, whether it's Facebook or Instagram during the day normally, and you get fed ads for low ticket items, like for instance, I just got fed an ad where they were pitching me some sort of a screen projector that you can use for your iPhone. It's actually pretty cool. You set it on your desk or whatever, and it projects this really clear image on the wall. And it's for videos that you're watching on your iPhone. So I thought, pretty cool product, but look, it's an ad and they have sales copy and they have a funnel. Let me go see what it's all about, right? I'm a marketer. So you guys definitely think of yourselves as professional marketers if you're doing e-commerce. And instead of cruising past ads and thinking, I don't want to be spammed, I don't like ads, whatever, think of it like a scientist. Break down why you like that ad, why you like the copy on the ad, why you like the image or the video. And just to throw something out there really quick, I really noticed that video ads caught my attention way more than photo ads and made me want to click through. So that's something to consider for people that want to run Facebook or Instagram ads. But also, once you click through, notice the landing page. It's usually the product page. But notice what kind of call to actions they have. They probably have, the product title and the product image, but they also probably have some other little like why you should buy from us stuff, or limited time offer stuff, or hey, there's only a few left in stock kind of things. All these things are called sales triggers, and they're urgency, scarcity, social proof, trust. You got to build all these up. Risk reversal. So you got to build all these up in order for people to get people to click through to buy your product, right? But the key, of course, is waiting around long enough till that email pop-up gets served. Because really, e-commerce sites you don't send people to a squeeze page as often for e-commerce sites as you send them to the product page and then pop up an email. You see that 99% of the time with e-commerce is the pop-up thing. So that's definitely one you want to look out for. But it's kind of works the same way with product listing ads. So product listing ads are served for lower ticket items for sure. But I think that's the only place you can really go to find higher ticket item ads, because people aren't running those ads to cold traffic, to cold leads who haven't seen that website yet. They're not running ads to that traffic. They're running ads to product listing ads for that traffic. So you're not going to find high ticket items in cold lead dropship ads. You're only going to find those in the product listing ads. So the product listing ads in Google is the place to go to find anything like $500 or up, or even like $200-$300 or up, because really anything under like $100-$200 is just, that's impulse buy stuff, So
yeah, I know one of the things I noticed a lot too, like and that's great that you just mentioned that as well. But I've noticed that a lot of when you're looking for like the higher ticket items, that even on the text ads, like they don't send you to the product page, they send you to the product collection, like the collection of all the products. I don't even see it too common where you're sending, like with a text ad campaign, that someone's even sending you directly to like that exact landing page for the product. And, again, like you talked about, the strategy is a lot different with higher ticket products versus lower ticket products. So that's good. You're breaking that stuff down for us, Trevor.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I mean, if you're running an ad in the first place, what's the most what's the most optimized place you can send that lead? Like if someone types in a brand name on Google, yeah, for sure, you should send them to the collections page. But sending somebody to a collections page is really not that great of an idea, because you're literally throwing them at a wall of a bunch of different offers, and you're making them make a choice, right? And if you know yourself and you know us as human beings, it's hard to make choices when you have a bunch of different options to make. The most options you can have and ever actually make a choice is like 3 or 4 at the most. So usually collections pages, you have like 12 different products to choose from, plus a menu at the top, plus maybe a sidebar. Like collections pages are just, generally speaking, not the greatest place to send somebody who's coming from a paid advertisement. If you're going to pay money for someone to go there, like for sure, if it's free traffic, no big deal. But if you're going to pay money to a brand page, maybe send them to like a blog post about that brand, and then have a quick offer for a free guide near the top of that post or something like that. Like, understand where they are in the buying cycle. Like if they're searching for a brand name, it's probably because they want to learn more about that brand, and they want to learn more about why they should buy the brand, and then they also want to learn more about the different products they offer. But the problem is the collection page isn't really well optimized for education. It's optimized for shopping. So maybe they're not quite in the shopping stage, even though they're clicking on a shopping ad, they're not quite in the shopping stage yet. So you got to capture that lead, right? And so sending them to a squeeze page for a generic or even a brand keyword is not that bad of an idea. Hey, you want to learn more about this niche? Sign up and we're going to give you a free guide. That's the squeeze page, right? So that's probably a good idea for a generic keyword. For a brand keyword, hey, you want to learn more about Apple iPhones? Cool. Sign up for this free guide on Apple iPhones. It's probably a better idea, because then you're capturing the lead, and then you can send them to the collections page from there, and they can browse around some more. But now they know that you're going to follow up with them, and then that they are interested in that, so you can follow up with them. So I think it's a win-win situation if you set up your funnels right and send your traffic to the right place.
Yeah, so it's understanding what type of advertising campaign that you're setting up and where people are going to be at in the buying cycle, then sending them to the page that's going to work best for them, right? And so you talked about
the correct information,
yeah, serving them the correct information. So you talked about a couple places that you could send someone. So it's like a squeeze page. So what type of traffic are you sending to a squeeze page? If someone's, let's say someone's selling, let's just throw a product out there like dining room tables, right? So I'm selling dining room tables, and I want to, increase, my customers and my email list for people. Like, what type of squeeze page would I put together for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, a buyer's guide always works really good. In fact, if you search Google for, I'm going to do it right now. Search Google for dining room tables. what comes up, because that's the main keyword people are going to search for when they're interested in dining room tables and they don't know what brand or what product that they want. So the first thing I see that comes up is Forbes.com has a buyer's guide to the dining tables, right? And that's in the organic search results. So if I was in the top of the funnel for a dining room table, that's probably where I'm going to go first. And I'm going to read all about dining room tables, how to seat your dining room guests comfortably. Let's see, wood versus glass.
Wow, that's good content.
Weathered wood table. And they have a ton of different things. They break down the different styles, square or round. You should, colors and how it's going to match your house. See, okay, but at the bottom, here's the key. Where's the call to action? What are they doing with this traffic? It says browse thousands of dining room tables for added inspiration, and they take you to house. Okay, so is this article? Yeah, it is. It's by house. Okay, so see what House is doing here. They asked Forbes if they could do a guest article called "The Buyer's Guide to Dining Room Tables," which happens to rank for the keyword "best dining room table" somehow because they're got an SEO guy probably. And then it takes you to House, which is definitely a website about dining room tables and everything in the home, right? It's an e-commerce site with the content site, which is amazing. So now you're in a funnel. You're going deeper into the funnel. You understand dining room tables a little bit. Let's go look at the different types and brands and stuff like that. So now I'm interested in the brands, and I'm going to go down here and I see, these different styles of these kitchen rooms and stuff like that. House hasn't hit me up with any kind of a email pop-up yet, which is boohoo on them, but they're a huge website. So they got my pixel now, at least. You got to understand that too, is that like the sales funnel and email marketing is the free way to market to people, remarket, but you can also remarket to people using their pixel and a cookie. When anybody lands on your site, you can set that up with Google remarketing or Facebook remarketing ads. So there's multiple ways to remarket to people. And just to add one more thing to that, I've gotten a bunch of ads lately. When you click on an ad on your Facebook feed, for instance, and it's for like an internet marketer selling a course, you land on their sales page and then you go to their checkout and you leave the ad. Well, take a look in your Facebook feed the very next day. That same marketer might, if they're good, they'll market to you again. They'll say, hey, you checked out my ad yesterday. Thanks for checking that out. Are you ready to buy the product now? If you are, go ahead and click now to purchase, and it'll take you right to the checkout page. So you, as an e-commerce marketer, can do the same thing. You can run a retargeting ad the day after somebody visits your website, an abandoned cart ad, basically, in the Facebook feed. And like a lot of times people run these Facebook dynamic retargeting ads and stuff like that. And that's basically what that is. If someone goes to your website, checks out a product, you can run a retargeting ad to them. It's basically like an abandoned cart email. So think about running those in tandem, because when somebody gets an email from you and an ad at the same time, that same day, that's multiple marketing messages hitting them at the same time. And if they're getting more marketing messages from you than anybody else and they're shopping around, they're probably going to buy from you. And if they're better and they like you more, then they're probably going to buy from you. So going off.
Man, Trevor, you're freaking lighting this up, man.
You got to tell me to stop. You got to tell me to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, man, I'm not saying slow down. I mean, like, you're giving so much content. Like, it's crazy. Like, we were just talking about email. Now we're talking, like, you literally just funnel hacked House, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You don't get this type of stuff live, people. Like, this is crazy. So, at the end of this recording, like, we're actually going to leave this up. I'm not sure how long we'll leave the live session up, but you guys can definitely, like, go back and watch it later. Maybe slow it down with the app or something, because Trevor's lighting it up. I'm not having him slow down at all because he's dropping some bombs on you guys. So yeah. Man, that was awesome, Trevor. So talk to me about, like, so man, that was a lot. So you mentioned one thing about, like, like the retargeting, right? And let's talk about a little bit more about, like, an abandoned cart sequence. Okay, so we talked about someone coming to your website, and let's talk about what an abandoned cart is, because I don't want to assume everyone does know what abandoned cart is. So what is an abandoned cart? Why is that important? And what does that, follow-up sequence look like for you that you found has been most productive for your success with your stores? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. What I'm going to do really quick is run over a pre-abandoned cart sequence, and then I'm going to run into the abandoned cart sequence, just so people understand, because there's more steps.
Trevor dropping fire, guys, man. He's bringing it today, man. He's bringing it today.
leave no one behind. Leave nothing behind. All right, so we're gonna do this. So after someone opts in for your email, that's your first chance to make a connection with them. So you run them a few emails and a few ads, right? But it doesn't stop there. So Of course, with any relationship in life, you got to understand that like the more value you provide somebody, the more they're going to like you, right? So you wouldn't just meet somebody off the street for the first time, maybe say hi and then whatever, and see them again the next time, be like, hey, yo, you want to buy this from me? I got this right now. They're going to be like, no, dude, you're a spammer. I don't like you. So you got to build a relationship with them, and that happens over time. So understand, like, you have to set up an email sequence for that cold traffic, for that first opt-in. That's going to be a few emails long, and it's going to be value content. And then after that first few emails, you can make an offer to them. And that first offer, they may or may not buy. If they don't buy, it's probably because they need more information. So the key there is that you don't stop. You then send them an email for a lead magnet. And that's the guide that you want to send them to. And whatever category in your store that they're interested in, that's the guide you want to send them to. So the key here is segmentation and sending that traffic to a squeeze page to get that guide. So basically, here's the thing. If you want to do dropshipping e-commerce successfully, you've got to choose a niche, right? And the broader the niche you choose, you can do it, but you just have to understand it's going to be a lot more time to set up all your verticals, all your product verticals, all your content verticals, and all your email marketing verticals. Because you have to understand, with a niche site, it's so much easier because you usually just have 1, 2, or maybe 3 product, content, and email verticals, right? Because you've got to create a content vertical and email vertical for each product vertical that you have, and that's how you're going to optimize all these different funnels. Okay, so with that said, you're going to create a email after the first offer to them that says, hey, if you didn't buy, that's okay. You might be interested in learning more about the product before you buy. And then you can send them to a squeeze page for the free guide. And the guide is going to be basically that best dining room tables article with a huge buyer guide about all different types of dining room tables and what you should, shop for and stuff like that. So because they probably need more information if they didn't purchase yet, right? So once that happens, you're going to send them the question, how can we help you more? And hopefully they're going to respond to that. Usually people do. And if you're in e-commerce selling to people who are older, especially people like baby boomers and stuff like that, you have a much higher rate of people that actually reply to your emails when you ask them to engage with you. It's really cool. They literally feel like an email is like a message from somebody, a phone call. And because they're from an older generation where direct mail was very important to them. They were back in the day before email is when they grew up, right? So you have to understand, email to them is like something more real than email. So when you're in a baby boomer niche, you're going to get a lot more replies from that. So make sure you send them emails after you send them the guide that says, how can we help and stuff like that. And then just a really quick and easy offer after that as well. And then finally, hopefully at that point, they start finally deciding to make a purchase because you've now provided them so much free content. You've sent them to a lead page. You've given them a free guide. You've educated them all these different stages. In the meantime, you've been sending these advertising messages about coming back to your website. So you've had more than 7 touches. And that's the key here is you've got to have 7 touches at the minimum, which is basically a marketing message for the customer. It's an email, it's an ad. It's showing up in the organic listings, showing up in the ads with them. Got to have at least 7 touches before someone's going to make a purchase with you, before they're going to trust you and believe that you're real and not just a scam. So once you get to that point, you can finally get them to go into the cart, but what if something holds them back? And hopefully by that point, they're entered their email address into the cart, and that will trigger your abandoned cart email. And that's when the abandoned cart email starts. And this is literally the most important email in your entire email marketing funnel because it's the one that's going to get people to come back and make their purchase, because people don't buy because it's the wrong time. They don't buy because they want to see if they can get a better deal. They don't buy because they don't trust you still. So you have to allay all of these fears one at a time in each email message. So you're going to send them a reminder. You're going to send them a reminder right away. That's going to say, hey, it's not the right time. We get that, but maybe, it's the right time now, or whatever. You're going to send them a reminder right away. You're going to send them a reminder 6 hours later that says, hey, you want a discount? You're going to send a reminder 24 hours later. Hey, it says urgency. The sale's running out today. This is your last chance. Buy it. Send them out a reminder 36 hours later that says, hey, we have a money back guarantee or a satisfaction guarantee or a low price guarantee. Send out all your risk avoidance, risk reversal, sales trigger emails and stuff like that. And then send them another email 48 hours later. And then another one 72 hours later. You have to keep following up with them. See, sales and the way sales works is all about follow-up. And the way automated sales works online these days is through email and retargeting ads. So you have to set all of these emails up, and you've got to approach each sales trigger in a separate email. And hopefully after that, they make a purchase or they buy from somebody else. It depends. And it's all up to you and how good of a job you do, pretty much. So that's it.
Wow, man. Goodness gracious. That was ridiculous, bro.
Definitely.
Guys, I don't know if you were able to take notes quick enough. I know I was slamming notes over here. One thing that I like that you said that was awesome was the fact that, the more value that you offer someone, the more that they'll actually like you, the more that they'll be connected with you, the more they'll be invested in you, and the more that they'll trust you. So that is huge, guys. And then the other thing that you mentioned too is like, 7 touches minimum, from a marketing aspect before someone feels confident about, purchasing from you. So, a lot of people, might not have the sales or marketing background, but, that's like, from a marketing perspective, something that's, really kind of taught from like, marketing overall, that, the average, amount of engagements that you need to make with someone, is about 7 times before they feel comfortable about making the transaction with you. Especially if they're like someone starting off on like the front end of a sales funnel and stuff. Like that's why, companies spend, millions of dollars, for like the big boys to run commercials, like every hour on the hour, because they understand like, hey, the more you see these Pampers diapers and you got a kid, the higher the likelihood of you saying, you know what, man, that Pampers commercial was pretty cool. They seem like they're a pretty okay company. It's because they're top of mind is the reason when you go to make that buying decision, you're like, man, what diapers do I get out of all these brands in the market? It really comes down to, honestly, like, who does your mind recognize as being the person that you was connected with? So, Trevor, thanks for dropping some of these other, ninja tricks, and thought processes for understanding like a customer overall, man. You were given some valuable knowledge today, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Definitely. And you guys, it doesn't stop there.
All right, so yeah, because we just covered abandoned carts.
It literally took me months to set this up. After I had my call with you last, I think it was like November sometime last year. It took me probably until January until I really had all this work done, because I didn't understand it at first, so I had to learn how it worked. And then I started signing up for every single e-commerce site's newsletter, and I started going in and abandoning carts at like all the websites I possibly could. And I just went into my Gmail and I labeled every single store, because they're all going to show up in your promotional folder, so they're literally
all right. So slow down, Trevor. You're about to give some fire content. I know it, right? But I need everyone to kind of come together, right? So Trevor's about to tell you guys how to funnel hack abandoned carts. All right. Because every part of, a business has different sequences. It has different moving pieces to it. So right now, because he already covered, funnel hacking earlier, from a top level perspective from, exiting 10 applications. Now he's going to teach you guys how to funnel hack abandoned carts. So Trevor, walk us through your abandoned cart funnel hack strategies.
Yeah, cool. So actually, if you go onto Google and you type in top e-commerce sites, that's a very popular keyword, by the way. And if you look at the first organic ranking, it's by a company, I think it's called awards.com. One of these top rankings, well, they're going to break you down every single top e-commerce site in the world. So it's a great place to start. Now, of course, you can do the same thing with the ads I was talking about. And all you have to do is you go through their shopping experience all the way to the cart, and you can enter your actual name and address, or you can enter a fake name and address. And then you have to enter your email, and then you click the next button. So the way Shopify works is just that. You have to click that continue to shipping method button at the bottom after you enter your shipping address and your email. And different shopping carts work different ways. But as long as you enter your email and then click some sort of a button, you now ticked the automator in that software to tell them to send you an abandoned cart sequence. So you can go through every single e-commerce site you possibly can. And I suggest doing it on niche sites specifically, because niche sites tend to have really cool marketing messages. And since you're going to want to do niche marketing, niche dropshipping, niche e-commerce, you definitely want to go through niche sites, not just like Amazon or Wayfair, because they sell so many different categories of products, although those are good ones to go to. But the problem with those sites is that they'll send you marketing messages that are really all over the place. Like if you ever get a Wayfair email, it's going to have, buy your rugs, buy your desks, buy your tables, buy this, buy that, buy that. It's like 20 different things to do. And I don't know what to do as a consumer, so I'm just going to click to the next email. Some people are different, right? You just get, I want a table today. I'm just going to click that. But the key here is just go through their checkout sequences and just go through until you have to pay. And then when you get to the payment, just don't do anything, just click out and then check your email. And when you get the email from them, usually it's a welcome email, maybe it's an abandoned cart email. depending on how professional they are. In Gmail, if you use Gmail,
just,
you can
just to pause you really quick.
Yep.
What is your thought process? So someone's in an abandoned cart. Should you want to give them a welcome email, or should you keep them, continue down the funnel? Like, what's your thought process?
Yeah, I always do a welcome email. It's a quick, usually a text-only email with a logo and the menu, and maybe even a picture. And yeah, just quick, send them an email. Hey, thanks for checking out our site. Thanks for checking out the cart. And we really appreciate you. If you have any questions, let us know. It's kind of a message from the founder kind of a thing. People really like that. I think it strikes a tone, because you don't really get that with the top e-commerce sites, with the big stores, with the big box stores, any of the big companies out there. They don't do that sort of a thing where you get a message from the founder. And it kind of feels cool, because you're setting yourself apart as a small business, and people love small businesses because they know they're going to get taken care of better, because they know the owners, they have their reputation at stake. So they'd rather shop at small business rather than a big business. And sometimes people are addicted to shopping at big businesses like Amazon, because they know they can take advantage of Amazon. If anything goes wrong, they can just ship the product back and Amazon gets to eat it. So you get both different types of shoppers. But yeah, definitely a quick welcome email followed up by an abandoned cart series is really good, because it kind of doubles up on the friendliness, on the friend making experience.
All right, boom, man. Trevor, man, you going in, man. All right, so cool. So all right, so you get the email now. Like, what's happening in Gmail now?
Yeah, so the emails will show up in your Gmail inbox, right? So in Gmail, you can create a label for emails, and it'll show up on the left-hand column. And in there, you can basically see all the emails that's got sent there. But the key is you have to set up the label, and then you have to set up the filter. So if you don't know how to do any of this, just go to YouTube and Google how to set up a label in Gmail. There's videos for that, and Google how to set up a filter in Gmail. Basically, what a filter does is actually go to lifestyleflipper.com. My buddy Matt made a really good article about it. I should actually link that in the description, but he's a great guy, and he made a really cool article on e-commerce specifically and how to filter your Gmail inbox for customer relationship management. You can use the same tactics to filter through promotional content as well, and hack people's abandoned cart sequences. I'll drop a link to that in a little bit here, but yeah, basically create a label and then create a filter that automatically sends any email from that company to that folder. And you can also choose to skip the inbox if you really just don't ever want to see it. But I never do that, because you never know what you're going to get. So just make sure that it automatically gets added to that folder, and then you can go through that folder and see all of their abandoned cart in series according to date that they send it to you, and choose what you like and choose what you don't like, and make your own unique original content out of that. So that's how you do it, for sure.
Boom, for sure. Funnel hacking abandoned cart sequences, man. That is awesome. That's good stuff. So, talk to us about what are some of the, I'm not sure if you've actually done like internal case studies on your best subject lines, but what is the best way to get someone to actually open an email? Because there's probably people out there with their e-com stores, they're like, all right, I'll set this thing up, but how do I know someone's actually going to open it? So what is it that you do to get people to open it? Because you talked a little bit about the body. In the body message, to create connections, engagements, and clicks. And I'll have you kind of recap a little bit that here shortly. But how the heck do we get someone to even open an email from you? What's that look like?
So yeah, I got some really good tips for this. Here's the thing, and I've read a lot about it, and different marketers have different perspectives, and it really does depend on the industry as well. But for the most part, especially with e-commerce, you want to stand out from the pack. Okay, so most e-commerce businesses, most big, Amazon, eBay, whatever, they'll send these really long subject lines, and they're always, huge sale, get it today, and they might even have emojis in it and stuff like that. And while that's great and all, and it might kind of capture people's attention, I think it really kind of it lets them know that, hey, this is just a promotional marketing message, right? And Gmail knows that as well. Google knows it, so they'll send it to their promotions folder. And the one place you don't want to wind up is the promotions folder 24/7, because people sign up for a lot of lists, and you'll literally get lost and you'll never get opened. Your open rate will go down, your click-through rate will go down. So you got to keep your subject lines short, and that's the key. Very short, and under 5 or 6 words short. And it may sound strange at first, especially for e-commerce, because you want to put all of your cool stuff into the subject line, but you don't want to put all your cool stuff in the subject line. You want to make it very curiosity striking. You want to make people wonder what's inside that email message. So maybe 1 or 2 liners, and just play around with it, because I've sent out a couple ones where it's just like, hey, and people are like, what the heck is this? Well, then they read into it, and it's just, hey, is basically the way you start an email, right? So, and it might be the way you email a friend. So it's very different from the rest of the marketing world. And yeah, it gets people to click through, and that's important. It also lands you in the primary box. So that's one of the first things I would say to practice is shorter and more friendly email subject lines.
Okay, so having shorter and more friendly email subject lines, has a higher likelihood of ending up in the inbox, not the promotion folder. Definitely don't want to end in the spam folder. You end up in the spam folder, you are out of luck, right?
Yes, that's true.
So, because guys, like what Trevor just covered with you, and again, thought processes from different marketers, vary, but, there's actually what's called ISPs, internet service providers, like the people that run the systems for Google and AOL and Yahoo. They track everyone that's sending emails, right? And so if they start noticing like a specific account that's like, not having, friendly messages, and like you're just straight up promotional and people keep deleting them, they will automatically start filtering your messages to different places. So they're going to transition you from the inbox to, wow, this guy only sends promotional stuff, so we need to put him in the promotional folder. Then if eventually, like if people don't click on your emails, if they don't, or open the email, and then if they don't click the email, then they'll automatically assume that you're just sending spam, right? So they, not only does your software track this stuff, but the ISPs also track this stuff too. And the less of a friendly environment that you create for your audience, the more you get filtered into ultimately like the death zone, which is the spam box. So, man, Trevor, appreciate you covering that. Sorry, we got some really awesome strategy, implementation from a subject line aspect. Let's talk about, all right, someone opened it. What should we be putting in the body of the email?
Yeah, so the body of the email is obviously the most important part. Once you get them open, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to just show them a few products, or are you going to actually explain to them something? So just consider an email you write to your friend, right? And usually it's a friendly email. And you're writing to them with a point. You want to get to the point. So start by capturing their attention and building their desire, and then getting them interested in whatever offer you have, and then having a really clear call to action to take advantage of that offer. And usually it's a expiring coupon code. That's one of the best ways to get people to convert. But it could be something else. It could be a free gift, or it could be a free guide. So it just depends on the email that you're sending and what sequence it is in. And where the person is in the buying cycle and what you think is going to convert best, right? So make sure that you have the attention, which is also in the subject line, but you want to build attention again when they open the email, right? Get their attention again, get them excited, get them really desiring the product. So talk about whatever it is that you're doing as a company, or whatever it is that is interesting about the product, and talk about benefits, right? Instead of just features, how are they going to really benefit from it? How is it really solving their problem? So that's going to get them really desiring the product, because they really want to just solve their problem. And then a clear call to action. Anything works great, but you just have to make it stand out. So put it in the center, put arrows into it, make it a bold link, maybe even make it like a bigger font size or different font color or whatever. You have to make it stand out from the rest, and you have to say, click here to get blank. And then, it's really obvious what you want them to do. And then usually what people do is they reach to the bottom of the email, and it says, regards, and then your name and your company and your position. And then it says PS, and what you want to do there is you want to do a PS section in your emails, and you want to say, hey, this is the offer again. And by the way, it's expiring soon. And if you didn't read above, this is really awesome. And here's the link again, because a lot of people, for some reason, they just scroll right to the bottom of the email and they read the PS section. I've heard that a lot, and I do it a lot too. So it's literally just the offer, and some people are just interested in getting to the point. And that's why keeping your emails short and build it a little bit, but then just get to the point is really good. So that's a great way to do it. Again, it makes you stand out from the rest,
Man, that's man, that was awesome, man. We just went through like the entire body, because that was one of my questions that I was going to ask too, is like, do you make sure that you have, multiple links like within the email? Now, how many links is too many to have in the email? Like, so I know you talked about having one, getting straight to the point, then having the link, and then, your signature, and then having a PS section. So should there also be a link at the top too, or should you save the top for like, getting to the message and stuff like that? What is your thought process there?
Yeah, honestly, the more options you give people to click stuff and do stuff, the less the less directed they are. They feel like there's too much stuff and they might just click out. So minimum options, and providing a logo is obviously really good, and providing a little bit of text above the logo. And usually all the email providers have a little section that just says, a little bit of text, and that's actually the text that's going to show up in your customer's email inbox. When they get the title of the email right below that, the little subheading is really important. So you want to put something in there that's just a little bit enticing, like free shipping or something like that. And then after that, of course, your logo. And your logo, you can link to your homepage. But having a menu at the top, it gives people a lot of different, okay, well, I could just click this menu and go here or go there, but they're not directed. See, the same with any traffic and driving traffic is you want to direct their attention and drive it to where you want to go. So the best emails literally have just like that one link and then repeat that one link again. It literally it just converts so much better, and it drives people, and people know what you want them to do. Because if you tell people what you want them to do, they'll do it. It's the bottom line. So don't give them too many options.
Sweet, man. Awesome. So, talk to us about, like, we talked about some really great stuff, and I know we kind of covered a little bit about things to avoid, but like, talk to us a little bit about like your beginning journey of like email marketing, because we all start somewhere. Nobody, ever gets all this stuff put together. So like, what did that look like, and what should people avoid in the early stages of putting together their campaigns for email marketing to make sure that, they're creating successful campaigns?
Yeah, so I used Klaviyo when I first started out because everybody was saying good things about it. And Klaviyo is cool because it integrates with Shopify, which is the platform I use. And a lot of other people are using now because it's one of the easiest platforms to use. It works the fastest, they have support, and it's managed, and all these great things about Shopify. But Klaviyo, it actually links with Shopify. You can tell who the customer is and where they are in the buying cycle, which is neat. And so you can send all these sequences according to the different, part in the buying cycle that your customer is at and where you capture the lead and whatnot. So the thing about that is that Klaviyo doesn't really have templates when you first start. Like, they kind of do, but you have to make your own thing. And so a lot of people, the mistake they make is not making it original enough. They just throw their logo in where it is and, write where they tell you to write and put a picture where they tell you to put a picture, and then that's it, and they send it out. So the issue here is that you're not going to really look professional to the customer when you send them an email that's just a template from an email service provider. You have to study other people's emails and see what's working and model what's working. Model what the professionals are doing so that you can look professional. Because if you send an email to somebody and it doesn't look professional, you're telling that person that you're not a professional. And who wants to order a product from a company that's not a professional? Because you're probably skipping cutting corners and taking shortcuts in other parts of your business too, if you're going to cut corners and take shortcuts in your email marketing, right? So you want to appear as professional as possible. So don't just randomly fill in the templates for what you think. Actually do some research. Like I said, hack other people's abandoned cart sequences, hack other people's lead funnels, and store all that information, and keep a swipe file in your Gmail account so that you can go back as you build your own sequences out. And you can even copy and paste content and copy from other people's emails. That's totally fine. It's just that you have to try to make it in your own voice. That's key. And then you also want to make it follow all the other things I was talking about, like keeping it short, keeping it sweet, having one simple flow. Don't put a million marketing messages into the same email, because then the person's just going to be confused and click out. So these are all mistakes I made in the beginning. Literally, like when I started, I just filled in the templates and I didn't really look professional for a while. And then, it wasn't really doing anything for me. I thought, what's the point of email marketing if it doesn't do anything? And then I realized, well, if I actually put some work into learning about it, maybe it'll actually do something. And it totally did. Our conversion rates from our emails was upwards of like 30% last month, which is insane to think about. And since our niche is seasonal, it's gone down this last month, but I assume it's going to get quite a bit higher come the holiday season, because we can capture leads all up until Black Friday. And, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be insane. So that's just how it goes when you really model after what works and you build something that is professional and it's automated and it has good timing, and you don't have to worry about bugging people too much if you're providing them really good content. See, they're gonna love you for that. And don't email twice a day. But yeah, if you're in an abandoned cart, if someone's in the abandoned cart sequence, don't be afraid to email them every single day. for a few days. And then, for a leads funnel, it's the same thing every day for a few days. And people expect that, they want to hear from you, and following up is professional, just like creating a good marketing message is professional. So definitely model what works and stay professional. Don't make the same mistake of just looking like an amateur and then of course, not seeing results and wondering why you're not seeing results. That's definitely something you got to avoid. So.
Wow, man, my mind is blown, Trevor. Like, you dropped so much awesome sauce today. Like, if you guys are still out there, give Trevor some hearts, give him some likes, give him some thumbs up. Show them that you're engaged right now with the message, because we're going to be transitioning to the Q&A at this portion of the Power Hour. And man, Trevor, man, we appreciate having you on, bro. So let's check out some of these Q&As that have come through. I know I seen earlier as I'm scrolling, there was somebody that asked 2 questions. One of them was what email or what application that you use, and obviously you kind of answered that. But if you know of others that might be good, like what application that you use to do your email sequences. And then the other question that came through, I believe, was what do you use to create your squeeze pages for like your free guides and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So there's 3 tools I use. So I use Sumo. It's $50 a month, and it's a really cool program because it actually allows you to create multiple things. A lot of bloggers use Sumo, but it works really well for e-commerce too. And the reason why I liked it is because you can customize your pop-ups and you can add an image to it and make it a little more enticing and attractive. And so, yeah, Sumo's cool. There is a free plan, of course, you can use. It just doesn't have as pretty of the pop-ups. But, when you're first starting out, I actually suggest using the, I forget what it's called, but it's talking about that has the kind of Wheel of Fortune. And
Wheelio.
It's all set up and it actually works really well. Yeah, Wheelio. Okay, there you go. Yeah, check that out. Yep. I haven't used it myself, but it's pretty fun to use, actually. When I go on a site and I use it, it's kind of nice. It's engaging, and that's the key, is you want people to engage. So. Yeah,
guys, like Wheelio right now, for the people I know that are using it, they're having like 30-40% opt-in rates. Like, it's absolutely disgusting, like what's happening with people using that app right now. So I'd highly recommend checking it out too as well.
Maybe I need to make the switch. Yeah. I've been lagging on that.
I know, for me personally, like it's like when some things are working, like it's just like, man, it's working, I don't want to break anything.
Exactly. That's the thing. It takes a lot of time to set stuff up, right? And it literally feels like you just built something, and to move to another tool or whatever, another platform, is like tearing it all down and building it back up. But the key here is to understand that, like, anytime you build something, you're not going to just build it and keep that for the rest of your life. Just consider it as an experiment and consider it practice. And that's what I've been learning to do, is just every time you build something, just know, like, well, I just practice on how to do that. Maybe for your own sake or for the sake of training a VA to do it for you in the future, you could think about filming a video course or just a video on how you did it. And then, you could outsource that in the future. And just another quick thought there. I've been doing that a lot.
Okay. So email, to capture emails, we're talking about, we got SumoMe, we got Wheelio, and we got Privy as far as application processes. Now let's talk about the autoresponder recommendation. What do you recommend there for people?
Yeah, definitely. If you don't mind spending the extra money once you have a big list, but Klaviyo is really good. Klaviyo has everything, all the integrations built in. That's what I use, but you can also use MailChimp. MailChimp has e-commerce automations now, and it's linked with Shopify as well. So I haven't used it for e-commerce yet. So, but MailChimp is free up to 2,000 users, and I believe Klaviyo, like I've got around, multiple thousands now. So it's up in the hundreds per month, and that gets expensive, if you're closing sales, it's not expensive. But I was going to add in earlier, the key to keeping your costs down with Klaviyo is to clear out your email list every 90 days. So every month, every 3 months, you have to understand that people are probably not interested in your offer anymore if they're not opening your email and not clicking through. So you can look at that in Klaviyo and see who's not even opening your emails anymore, and you can just delete them from your list. And I highly recommend doing that. You might feel like, oh, I paid money to get those leads and stuff, and I don't want to get rid of them. But the key is that it's going to increase your opt-in rates and lower your costs for the email list altogether. So definitely recommend doing that.
And also, it's going to give you some kudos with the ISPs too, because now you have more people that actually engaging versus people that don't. So, Trevor, on the money, bro.
Show up in that primary tab. That's where you want to be.
Now let's talk about, what are you using to create I know, right? What are you using to create these squeeze pages for people, like, as they're coming through different parts of the funnel?
Yeah, so if you are on a budget, you can just use a blog post in Shopify. It's not very optimized, obviously, because you have the menus at the top and all the other things that person can go do. But a blog post is really cool because you can also teach them a little bit, and then you can have a really clear call to action for an opt-in, which is a form that you can create in your email service provider like Klaviyo, and then you just embed it into the blog post. So that's like the budget way to do it. It's not as optimized, but it does get clicks and does get opt-ins, and that's cool. So, but the very optimized way to do it, in my opinion, is the best for working with Shopify is lead pages, because lead pages is very pretty. It's just like Shopify. It's really nicely made, and it looks professional. And lead page is about $30 a month, so it's totally affordable if you have some profit coming in for your business. And you can create these really well optimized landing pages, and basically it just has a offer in a headline, a sub headline, and then email and a name and blank. And that's it. And then you want to send them to a thank you page, which is really nice, and it has a thank you. And then the really great way to do this, the most optimized way to do this, is to create a video thank you. And I know a lot of you guys, you're not going to want to do this because you want to be, faceless on your e-commerce store, but you can hire someone on Fiverr to read a script off for you too. Like, that's not a big deal. So, but making a video on your thank you page to thank them for opting in really helps build trust and really helps build a relationship. And what you want to tell them is you're going to be sending them, here's your guide, but also I'm going to be sending you more messages with offers, because if you pre-sell them on the fact they're going to receive more emails, then they're more likely to open those emails when they do get the emails. So that's key in your thank you page. And then below the video, have some sort of an offer, have a call to action to go back to your site to shop. That's key. So this is just basic sales funnel 101, but squeeze page, thank you page with a video and a one-time offer, or a link back to your e-commerce site. And then you can get really targeted with this later on. You'll build that for your basic, buyer's guide thing, but you can get this really targeted. You can go all the way down to the brand collections version. You can go all the way down to the product and specifically about the product, and get them to, opt in for that specific product and build a list just for that product. But I mean, that's like super advanced stuff, but just understand that like you can keep growing your email sequences and squeeze pages and stuff. You can fractal this out. You can go really deep and stuff like that. And the more you segment, the deeper you go with your email marketing messages, the more directed your messages are going to be, the more relevant they are going to be to the consumer. And those really, like I just heard this the other day on a podcast, but the only marketing messages that matter are the most relevant marketing messages, because no one wants to be shot an ad that makes absolutely no sense to them. They're going to start hating your ads, So I'll just throw that out there really quick, but that's the way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So lead pages, they actually have an integration with Shopify too. Like they have an app on the, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know they did that. So that's awesome, guys, man.
Yep, I'll put a link in there.
Cool. So someone asked, do you have any reading materials for email marketing that would not land you on the promotional tab or spam folder?
Yes, I definitely do. Okay, so the number one thing I think is important to read first, and this is kind of an old school one now because it's been a little while since you put it out, but Permission Marketing by Seth Godin is the first book I read that really got me understanding what inbound marketing is and what it means to serve people with messages that matter to them in a timely way. And so, yeah, definitely read Permission Marketing. It's a very theory-based book, but it'll get you to understand the theory behind properly serving people through email marketing messages. And that's literally the best book I can recommend. It's key. Oh, and by the way, it's available in audiobook version on Audible. You might even be able to find it on YouTube, for free. I bet that's YouTube.
Awesome. So
all these old books are on YouTube now. Yeah, Permission Marketing is a really good one. Definitely recommend that. There's got to be a lot more advanced ones. One of them that I read that's more targeted towards internet marketers, but can still be used for a lot of really good understanding of the sales funnel process is one called Invisible Sales Machine. It's by Ryan Deiss. He's the guy behind Digital Marketer. That one's really good too.
Yeah, that's the one that helped me out a lot. Yeah, Invisible Selling Machine. It's like take the thought process that you're getting from some of the recommendations Trevor's given for the books and figure out how you can implement that in e-commerce. Because honestly, guys, like the marketing and sales environment doesn't change no matter the industry, right? Like whether you're selling high ticket, low ticket, you're selling you got a hot dog stand set up. Like literally, like I walked into a barber shop that literally, now when Trevor, like, and I don't know if you guys caught this either, where Trevor talked about like, understanding like marketing messages and not just shying away from stuff that's happening, but getting engaged and start understanding like the funnel of what's happening. So I walk into a barbershop like 4 weeks ago. It was the first time I ever gone to this barbershop, because when I usually go to is closed. I walk in the door. The first thing that they do is they have me sign in to their computer. They have like a little laptop set up, and literally it's a landing page. I'm putting in my email and contact information. I'm like, yo, I'm on a squeeze page right now. They got me signing up. I'm offline, guys. I'm offline, and I'm sitting here like on a squeeze page, putting in my contact information. I'm like, these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, right? They're putting me into their sales funnel, right? And then now they got me in their email sequence. Like as soon as my visit's done, like at the end of the visit, literally I have to tell about my experience. I pay them, and then I get an email like the following day, like, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you. Next thing you know, like 2 weeks later, like, hey, you need another haircut? I'm like, you know what? I kind of do need another haircut, man. I have to go back. Like I'm in a funnel. Like, so literally, guys, like all this stuff that's happening, whether it's online or offline, I mean, my gosh, like literally, like start studying these things. Like everywhere I go, like I'm looking at signs and like, man, why did they choose that color? Who's their audience that they're really trying to attract? Why did they choose that font script, and how can I model that? Because here's what we know, and like Trevor talked about earlier, like we're gonna go into these websites that are already the top e-commerce stores, like in the US or whatever country it is that you're targeting. Like they've already spent hundreds of millions of dollars potentially paying other people to do the research and to do this stuff. So why not just leverage what they're already doing? I like working smarter, not harder.
One of my favorite marketers
right now. There's a squeeze page for a barbershop, man. Crazy.
Copy what you guys do. Model the best,
Yeah, man. I think like Tony Robbins is a big proponent of that. That's one of the things like he, preaches consistently over and over again. One of his primary messages is find someone that's successful at what you want to do and model what they're doing. So guys, do we have any other questions for Trevor? Like, I don't know about you guys. It's not every day that you get to meet someone that's like kicking butt, traveling the world with him and his wife, literally living life on their own terms, having a blast at the top of the game. Like, he's in the elite of the elite e-commerce entrepreneurs in the world. You don't get an opportunity to really get engaged with people like him. So what questions do you guys have for Trevor? We'll take one or two more because we're at the top of the hour right now, but I'll let you guys have one or two more questions. So who out there has another question here for Trevor? I know you guys' hands are on fire from like taking notes. So let's see here. Hannah said, thank you so much. Jeff said, that is amazing. Never would have thought about that, Trevor. As someone else say, thanks, Ernest and Trevor. Love how you are going deep within the concepts. Yeah, so we got some really awesome comments here, Trevor.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Ling asked a question. She said, how could I provide free shipping that is cost effective, especially low price items? So yeah, going again with the whole high ticket versus low dollar drop shipping stuff, you have to consider that these are completely different shipping, different business models, completely. Like the profit margin on a expensive item is much higher, so you can usually afford to cover the shipping. On a low dollar product, that's of course not true. I mean, the profit margin is high, but the profit dollar is low. So consider instead doing something like free plus shipping, especially if the product is around 20 or 30 bucks, because that really gets people excited. If people are willing to spend 20 or 30 bucks shipping on an item that's $0, it's pretty cool. So that works pretty well. And for an item that's maybe, 50 to 100 bucks, just consider, how much is the shipping and how much is it going to eat into your margin? And maybe you can come up with some sort of an order bump or an upsell that's going to make it profitable for you to offer free shipping, right? So consider that, because a lot of the most professional and best and well-done sales funnels have order bumps and upsells, and upsell before the cart and then upsell after the order. So come up with all these upsells and order bumps, because that's how you're going to turn a normally not very profitable product into a very profitable order. Because obviously the accessories are going to sell for 50% margin or more, and your product might be 20% or 30%. So So that, and then you can make the main product free shipping. So consider strategies like that in order to come up with free shipping options.
Boom, man. You guys got Trevor like helping you guys structure out your free offers and everything today. My gosh. All right. So got Jonathan said, how do you decide who to model your email after? Something that appeals to you personally, or are there other tells that you are looking for? So like, how do you choose who to model your email sequences after?
Yeah, I would say you have to do a lot of research. So don't just look at a few of them, look at a lot. And like I said, keep a swipe file, sign up for as many e-commerce stores as you can, and start taking notes on the similarities between them and see what kind of sales triggers that they offer. If you guys want another course on sales, there's one on Udemy that I took that's really, really good, and I'll try to find it and link below, but he talks just about sales tactics online, and it's all the stuff I'm talking about, but way more in depth, right? He's talking about the social proof, the trust, the urgency, the scarcity, and the risk avoidance or risk reversal. And yeah, so that kind of stuff is really important. And if you look at all these email marketing messages, you'll see a trend between all of them. So notice those trends. And yeah, as a consumer, you should like feel certain things about certain marketing messages, and the ones you like, take notes on that and see what you think, and make a mental note. And then when you go to make your email marketing messages, think back to that one that you saw that you really liked and think, maybe I can do something like that in my email. So consider it from a scientist's perspective, but also consider it from an artist's perspective, and what feels right to you and what feels good as a consumer, and go out there and be a consumer. The best way to be a salesman is actually to be a consumer and learn how they sell. So yeah, I remember back in college, I took a course on Sales 101, and the first day they had us up there, they had one person selling and one person buying. And that was the key, is that every day you'd go up there and you'd buy something from somebody and you'd sell something to somebody. So it wasn't just about selling, it was about being a smart consumer. And that's what got me thinking about this whole thing about, hey, maybe I should actually go out and buy more, and not necessarily just buy, but like go through the sales process, so that you can learn how the sales process works on all these e-commerce sites. And it's not only that, but like go into any physical store you go into to buy something from, you can also go through a sales process by asking that person a question and raising your hand and saying, hey, I'm interested. And they'll go through the sales process with you, It's possible pretty much wherever you are in life, is just to be a smart consumer and to ask questions and stuff like that and take notes.
Yep. Man, that was awesome.
Steve Appleton, my buddy out there in Santa Barbara, California, says, do you have a call to action for us?
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But yes, Trevor, do you have a call to action for people, man? We appreciate you being on. Like, do you have, way for people to stay connected with you? Do you got a squeeze page for someone to go to?
I've just got a podcast right now and a YouTube channel, but I'm going to send you guys to the podcast. Definitely check out ecommerceparadigmpodcast.com. And go listen to my content, because I've been making a lot of really, really cool content. On that podcast page, there's an opt-in form. You can get some free training, and I'm going to send you every single video that I make, so that you can get all the cool trainings that I'm going to make in the future. So as I develop my course and stuff like that, I'll have all sorts of cool squeeze pages for you guys when it comes to that kind of stuff, and probably make all sorts of really cool case studies as well of the work that I've been doing. But what they say about the best e-commerce marketers is that, they work so hard on their e-commerce business that, as far as spending time to make all sorts of other cool stuff, it kind of falls to the wayside sometimes, because you're working so hard in the e-commerce business. So that's just kind of how it goes. But ecommerceparadigmpodcast.com, that's it. But let's see.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, definitely drop that link. We'll make sure people get access to that if they ask about it and everything. But yeah, Trevor, appreciate you being on to the Ecom Power Hour with us. Man, it was a lot of content that you dropped today. Absolutely spectacular. It looks like we had one little question that popped in. Let's see if we can get this answer before I let you go. It says, what app do you use for your upsell before the sell?
Oh, yeah. Let me, okay. So there's an app called Bold, and they make a product option app, and they also make a product upsell app. So there's different ways to do it, but Bold calls it a cross sell. Those are the accessories that you sell along with your product. And then they call the upsell basically telling somebody, hey, if you're interested in this product, you might be interested in upgrade instead. So I don't really recommend doing the whole upgrade thing, because I think if somebody's interested in a product, they've probably done enough research to land on that product page and to buy that product. So offer them a cross sell. And that means basically an order bump on your sales page can be something, it can be something paid and it can be something for free. I see a lot of really successful e-commerce businesses offering their free gifts in the form of an order bump, which is really cool. So like break down your product. If it already comes with something extra, like a bag or whatever, then offer that as a free gift in the order bump form, where they have to check a box to receive a free gift, because it gets them to engage in your website some more. And then you can also offer them a additional, accessory or whatever on top of that, something in the $10 to $20, $30 range, something like that. And of course, it should be high margin for you. And then when they get to the cart page, they should receive a pop-up that says, hey, you also want to be interested in, you should be interested in this, an extra this or an extra that. Maybe even something that the product already comes with, but like a second one of those things. Those always sell really well. And then also the app called Thank You Page Customizer is really cool. It's an app where you can actually customize the thank you page on your Shopify site, because normally you can't do that unless you have their enterprise plan. So Thank You Page Customizer is really cool. You can add a video, which should, offer them a one-time offer and then a call to action to buy that product. And, it takes them back to that product page to buy that product. And to add this, I haven't used this yet, but I've heard really good things about it. And Zipify Pages is an app by Ezra Firestone. He's the guy behind Smart Marketer and Boom by Cindy Joseph, which is a huge e-commerce brand. And he has a one-click upsell app after the thank you page, which I haven't used yet, but I've heard it's really cool. So maybe check it out. I'll drop a link and you guys can check that out too. But I'll try to drop links to all these different apps in the comment section too as well.
Yeah, man, Trevor. Like, guys, if you don't take the content that Trevor's like went over today and take action on it, like I don't know what the problem is, right? If you're sitting there saying like, man, I can't get my e-com store going, like I'm having challenges, and you're driving traffic and you can't get people to convert, or you want to increase your revenue, like literally, I have no doubt in my mind, like the stuff that Trevor covered today can help you make an extra 100K in your business. Like there's no doubt, because I've done it, I've helped other people do it. And I know that if you start implementing this stuff, that you will be able to create an immense amount of success. And Trevor literally like laid out how to do everything, right? Like it couldn't have gotten any better than what was covered today. Even how to abandoned cart hack, how to funnel hack, how to hack the front end of the offers. Like, my gosh, like you couldn't have got any more content, right? So, man, Trevor, I really do appreciate you being with us today. I know everybody else out there appreciates it. And man, appreciate you so much, man. I can't say that enough. So guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up. And man, if you're not part of the Ecom Dropshipping for Entrepreneurs community, I would highly recommend hopping in over there, because we got tons of phenomenal people like Trevor that's in the group engaging, and we just want to see you guys win. Trevor has Ecom Paradise podcast, where he's just giving out content of this level on a consistent basis, because we genuinely care about seeing you guys win. We're in the game, we're in the trenches. Like, we're not telling you stuff that worked like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, these are things that we're doing right now to create success. So appreciate you guys joining us, and we will chat with you guys later.
See you guys later.
All right.